As the year comes to a close, it becomes time for the lists again. Hi everyone, I'm Tom, and these are my most remarkable games of 2017. And note how I say remarkable. The games on this list are not all good. In fact, the number 10 on this list will be the worst game of the year. And as we go up on the list, they will only get better and better over time. With number 6 being the most average game of 2017 and number 1 being the absolute best game of the year for me. I know, it's a bit convoluted and a bit different from what other people normally do. However, I did this for the simple reason that I did not play all the greats this year. Games like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Divinity 2 and so on. So the list would not be as genuine as it should be. But this way we go from the horrible to the bland to the great in one single video. Again, just to be fully transparent and clear, these are only the games I've played and are only completely based on my opinion. So with that out of the way, let's start with number 10, the worst game of the year. Number 10. It might not come as a shocker to some of you that I am really against shady business dealings and anti-consumer practices. However, Star Wars Battlefront 2 took it to a whole new level with the way they chose to make nearly everything about their game either a grind or pay to win. Even after all the changes they made, I still feel that the game itself is pretty bland and repetitive, not to mention the campaign, which is just all over the place and forgettable as all hell. At the very least, I'm glad that the worst game this year is not a No Man's Sky type of game. At least Battlefront 2 was pretty and polished. But a pretty turd is still turd. Go die, EA. Number 9. Speaking of things that are unremarkable, bland and repetitive, Lawbreakers takes the number 9 spot this year. Unlike Battlefront 2, I did not want this game to burn in the lower part of the Steam servers, yet it did. And for good reason. At the time of its release, people were fed up with the futuristic looking shooters, and the fact that nothing really special happened while playing the online bouncy castle of a shooter didn't do the game any good as well. Even Justin Roiland's voice acting could not save this highly optimized shooting range, and that says a lot. Maybe if Overwatch did not exist, this game would have felt original, but I even doubt that. So the number 9 spot it is for Lawbreakers. It's number 8. We are getting in the territory of games I started to like, but still left a bad taste in my mouth after playing. Sniper Elite 4 owns that spot with pride, because it doesn't matter how much I love the X-ray cam or the bone-crushing sounds it makes when you break someone's neck. I can't take it serious when Dude McSniperton's voice over here sounds like gravel getting shoved in a garbage compactor. The sniper mechanics in Sniper Elite are always detailed and expansive, but the rest is as stale and uninteresting as you could possibly imagine. So that gets you the number 8 spot. Number 7.
Good morning, Morgan. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2032.
Prey takes the number 1 game of the year spot the same way I take my medication. It doesn't, and so it gets put here on the number 7 spot, where it belongs. The problem with Prey was that it shifted a lot in its priorities. In the first hour, every object could be a hostile alien, and you became paranoid of every chair, mug and monitor you saw, which was amazing, and something I've never seen before. But the more and more different enemy types you discovered, the more and more blander shooter it became. And the more and more of that early game charm dissipated into nothingness. And so the game of the year potential dissipated as well, until it reached the number 7 spot. Number 6. Call of Duty World War II takes their number 6 spot for the sole reason that it works, just as pretty much any Call of Duty that came before worked. And let me just friendly remind you that the number 6 spot doesn't mean it's good. it's mediocre. However, just like I said in my review, Call of Duty is the golden standard of mediocrity. Call of Duty doesn't innovate, it just creates different versions of itself, sometimes for the worst, like last year, and sometimes for the better. In this year's edition, I was mildly enjoyed for periods of time, and the fact that pub stomping some randoms with a group of friends is still enjoyable after 8 years of playing the franchise does say something about the way the games are made. I still find the way that they vaguely describe what the game is about hilarious, by the way. So for that, the number 6 spot. Number 5.
You know, my ma always said, never trust a man can't handle his whiskey, so you sit right down.
Slightly above average is the right way to describe Wolfenstein The New Colossus. The shooting, running and kicking ass is all well made, nice and fun to do, but you can only do it for one entire playthrough before you see how simple it really is. And not that that's a bad thing, it just needs to be said and put into your expectations before you spend $60 hoping for the next game where you can put your 2,000 hours into. You will find enjoyment here for sure, just know that it won't last very long.
Children of the proletariat off to die in foreign lands so that they could be filling their coffers. It weren't their sons bleeding on the beaches.
Number 4. I know, we're making a large jump from mediocre to amazing, but I need to tell you more about Cuphead, because if you're looking for something truly original looking, well, here it is. These artists drew every frame of the animations by hand and then enhanced them on computers. I can't imagine how much work and effort has been put into this energetic indie, let alone the fact that the game actually turned out to be so hyperactive, frantic and frustrating. When you die and die again, only to kick a boss ass in the end and scream in excitement. It is so punishing, and it's so fun at the same time. Damn. Hey guys, it's number 3. Okay, top 3. Now we're getting to the amazing stuff. And one of the most remarkable experiences I have had this year was most certainly in Fallout 4 VR. I have to give credit where it is due, because even though Bethesda fucked up royally with Doom VFR, they most certainly delivered with Fallout VR. And like I said in the review, yeah, the Pip-Boy is a little bit janky and it's still the same Fallout game for $60 again, but I could not give less of a fuck for it. Everything I've played up until this point either felt like a demo or was just a new game dependent on one single gimmick. Now I can finally have something to continuously play for days on end with the vibe strapped to my face. Goodbye real world, it was nice knowing you. Oh boy, it's number 2. This one might come out of the blue, but Horizon Zero Dawn was no doubt the best single player game I've played this year. A lot of the time I made a joke, well the story was okay, but it's not the next Last of Us. Well, this motherfucker was better than The Last of Us in my opinion. Every story quest ended with a cliffhanger and mentally hooked me to keep playing just to find out what the fuck happened to the Earth. Why are the people if everyone went extinct? Why are there robot dinosaurs? Who the fuck is Hades? Give me answers! And then it gave it to me and I was satisfied somehow. Superior Dutch game design, that's all I'm saying. Game of the Year. I was hesitant to make this my game of the year, but PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds absolutely came out on top for me. By sheer hours of playtime alone, this game had to take the number 1 spot. Not to mention the shenanigans, the tense last man standing moments, or just because the gameplay is slower than what we're used to nowadays, which is also few and far between. I'm not saying this game is perfect, because it isn't, but I am saying that over the entire year, I enjoyed this game the most. So Brendan Green, I congratulate you. You and your developers at Bluehole took the Game of the Year award of 2017. Congratulations. That was it for me, you amazing people. I know it was a little bit different from what people normally do, but I felt like I did not play enough of the Game of the Year contenders to actually make a top 10 list containing the actual best games of the year. And the same goes for the worst games of the year. But what do you think? Is Battlefront actually the worst game of the year? Is PUBG actually the best? Let me know in the comments below. Also, as a side note, I would like to wish you all a happy holidays, seeing that the end of the year is nigh once again. There will, however, next week be another video. But until then, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.